Hello, I'm Anna, and I'm a technical consultant with KPMG Crimson Wing. Today I'm going to talk to you about Visual Studio Team Services, or in short VSTS, Lifecycle Services, in short LCS, how LCS integrates with VSTS, and how both of these tools contribute to a successful implementation of a Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations solution. For simplicity, I'm going to call Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operation only as Dynamics. Let's start with Visual Studio Team Services, or in short VSTS. Visual Studio Team Services is a cloud-based set of collaboration tools that supports collaboration on software projects. Basically, if you are working on a Dynamics solution implementation, no matter which role you are in, I am quite confident that you are going to find at least one tool in VSTS that is going to help you to do your job in a more effective and meaningful manner. Let's go through the main tools of VSTS. First, we have the Agile tools, which help you capture and prioritize client requirements into a product backlog. And you can view the progress of your implementation on Scrum boards and burn-down charts. This tool also supports incremental development. With Code Repository, this enables us to store our code in a centralized version control system. And with continuous integration, we can set up automated builds and automated tests. With Microsoft Test Manager, we can coordinate all management activities, including planning, authoring, execution, and tracking of tests. Last but not least, we have powerful reporting tools in VSTS. Additionally to the standard VSTS dashboard and Excel integration, VSTS also integrates with Power BI to enable us more insight into the quality and the progress of our implementation. It is easy to create a new VSTS account and start discovering these tools. Head to www.visualstudio.com Team Services and select Create an Account for free. Write in the name of your project and the name of your account. Select how you want to manage your code and how you want to organize your work, and you're almost done. You get 5 free basic accounts and unlimited stakeholder accounts. If you want to learn more about your choices or possible choices and about what are the access levels and permissions in VSTS, head to the Microsoft documentation on VSTS. The link is displayed on the screen. You can find here many useful information on all VSTS tools. I cannot really talk about VSTS without mentioning Agile, because the Agile methodology is what we use to implement Dynamics solutions. The Agile methodology is comprised of a set of practices where solutions implemented by self-organizing and cross-functional teams evolve through collaboration and multiple iterations. A standard Dynamics project has thus the main phases of preparation, execution, user acceptance test, deployment, and operation, while the preparation and execution phases are done through an Agile methodology. Let's start with the first phase, which is Agile preparation. And during this phase, we define the functional requirements of the customer in a product backlog. The product backlog has a tree structure, with the epics being the highest level work items. And as the preparation phase progresses, epics are defined in features, and then features are redefined in user stories. User stories have a specific format which is understandable for both client and delivery team. And this format is as a I need to, so that, plus acceptance criteria. For example, as a system accountant, I would like to create intercompany accounts so that I can post intercompany transactions. The client and delivery team collaborate to build up this product backlog, and this ensures trust and common sense of vision. Let's look at an example of a product backlog. In the Work tab in VSTS, you can find and you can view all epics, features, and user stories. On this screen, you see a list of features, and features can be expanded to view the user stories underneath the feature. You can see the work items can be categorized into areas. Areas, for example, can be finance with sub-areas as purchase ledger or sales ledger. And the work items can also be categorized by timeline. You see on the left, there are past, current, and future sprints listed. VSTS also enables us to prioritize the work items and to define different types of relationships between the work items. Let's now focus on the second phase, which is agile execution, and I'm going to talk to you about incremental development. Incremental development means that the agile execution phase comprises of multiple iterations, and each iteration has specific stages. First, at the beginning of the iteration, we choose a prioritized list of user stories, and these user stories are then implemented and tested. At the end of the iteration, the solution increment is played back to the customer, and then the solution increment is released to the customer to be tested. After the customer gives us the feedback is then incorporated into subsequent sprints. There are many benefits of using incremental development, for example, increased focus, improved quality, and reduced cost, as the issues are discovered early on in the implementation. At the beginning of each iteration, the delivery team starts creating tasks under the user stories. And the progress of the user stories and the tasks can be viewed on a sprint board. On the sprint board, each user story and task goes through specific stages, starting from new, active, to in development and test. Next, I'm going to show you a few examples of your reporting options. On the screen, you can see a dashboard that was built up in VSTS to track testing progress. On the dashboard, you can have widgets, you can have charts and lists, and all these are built up based on a query which you can define in VSTS. You can also use Power BI to create reports. On the screen, you can see a sample dashboard that was created with the standard content pack available for VSTS. But for more flexibility and control, it is also possible to connect to VSTS via a data connector from Power BI Desktop. You can also use Excel to do reports. In Excel, you can view, add, or modify VSTS work items. You can open a list of work items directly from VSTS with the Open in Excel function, or in Excel, you can connect to a VSTS account and open the list from there. Let's move on to LCS. And LCS is a cloud-based multi-tenant collaboration portal that enables the management of the full lifecycle of a Dynamics implementation. LCS has many different and useful tools, which I don't have time to cover them all. And I'm going to focus on how to connect VSTS with LCS, how to create and manage environments on Microsoft Azure, what is a subscription estimator, how we can view business process libraries, and how we can synchronize these with VSTS. And I'm also going to cover what is cloud-powered support. To access LCS, type in lcsdynamics.com. And if you are a member of a customer source or a partner source organization, then you will be added automatically as an organizational user to LCS. Here I can see on the main page of LCS all the projects that I am added to as a project user. To add the new LCS project, I can click on this plus sign over here. And you can see I have a few project types to choose from. The implementation project types is not available for me because this is created automatically when customers sign up for Microsoft Dynamics. I'm going to close this and select one of my test projects. The workspace for the test projects has the following areas. It has the Action Center, which reminds me to set up the Visual Studio Team Services connection. Then in the middle, it has the Implementation Methodology section, which is the standard methodology that came with this project type. In the next section, I have the list of my environments. At the moment, I don't have any environments here. And last, I have the section for the tiles, which give me easy access to the tools of LCS. Let's first see the project settings. And in the project settings, I have the Visual Studio Team Services tab. And here I can connect Visual Studio Team Services with LCS. So here I have to enter the name of the VSTS account, which I have created previously. And it also needs a personal access token, which I have generated in my VSTS account. I will copy this in. And then I click on Continue. And you see that LCS has recognized all the projects that I have in this account. And I will just choose one test project here. And what happened next, as you can see, LCS automatically mapped the LCS work item types to the VSTS work item types for me. And this mapping will be used later when we want to synchronize the business process library to VSTS. I will click on Continue and on Save. The last step is to make sure that you authorize VSTS to access LCS on your behalf. I'm going to go back to the test project and show you how to create and manage environments on Microsoft Azure. I'm going to create an environment here by clicking on this plus sign. And this dialog pops up where I have different options to choose from. First, I can choose whether I want to deploy on Azure or I want to deploy locally, and I will choose Azure in this case. Then I can choose from two types of topologies, either a demo environment or a dev test environment. And on the dev test environment, I can develop, test, and build my solution. So I will choose dev test. And in the next page, I have the option to choose from various Dynamics versions. Here I can also specify whether I want a build and test environment or a develop environment. I will choose here the build and test option. And next I can write in the name, say this is a test environment, and I can see here that one virtual machine is going to be created for me, and I can change the size of this virtual machine. D13 is the standard size, and in the advanced settings I can set up Visual Studio Team Services. I can specify the name of the build agent. And what happens when I click Done and Create Environment is that during the provisioning, a new build agent is going to be created for me in VSTS. And this build agent can be used to set up automated tests and automated builds. I can also specify what kind of database I want, whether I want demo data or I do not want any data at all. And I can also specify disk space configuration, maximum number of disks, and size of these disks. Let's say I'm done with this, and I agree to this checkbox here, and then next to create the environment. I will not create here an environment because I have some test ones already, and I will choose the first one. If I click on that tile, I will get to the page when all the details of the environments are displayed. Here I can deallocate, I can edit and stop the environment. I can maintain it in the sense that I can apply customizations and platform updates directly from LCS. I can see the version of the environment, and I can see the VMs that I have in this environment. I can log into these VMs as the AX local admin username and using this password. I can see more domain accounts here, and at the bottom I have links to a full system diagnostics and environment monitoring. I also have 2 tiles, and these 2 tiles show me the available updates that I can apply to this environment. If I want to log in to the environment, I can choose this login button here on the top right corner, and I can select log on to environment, and this will take me straight to the Dynamics client. I'm going to go back to the dashboard now and choose the tile subscription estimator. During the provisioning of the environment that I showed you earlier, you saw that I had the option to specify the size of the VM, and also the option to specify the disk size and the number of disks of the VM. Well, I don't have this option with the production environment. Production environments are created in implementation projects and are created by Microsoft and set up by Microsoft. So in order for Microsoft to know what are the hardware needs of my environment or of the production environment, we need to provide Microsoft the subscription estimator. This is also called usage profile or infrastructure estimator. Microsoft provides us a sample usage profile, which I can download from this page. And if I open it, I can see a few tabs. And in each of the tab, I can input some information about my solution. I can say how many organizations does it have, how many legal entities, the number of user licenses that I will need. And in the peak transaction volume tab, can input numbers, for example, lines created by users using the AX client in a peak hour. And this number and information will help Microsoft to know what size of an environment I need. This size, of course, is not set in stone. This size, the environment can be scaled out or scaled up as the organization grows. So next I will show you the business process modeler, and I will click on this tile here. And here I can see all my libraries and the corporate libraries, and also the libraries that are provided by Microsoft for Dynamics solutions. I will choose my library and open it. And here I can see all the processes within my library. I will expand the view. And you can see on these processes, we have this icon here on the right, which tells me that there is a flowchart and a task recording behind this process. So we click on this to show you the steps of the process. And these are the steps that we have to follow. I'll go back. And here on the top, you see I have the option to sync this library with VSTS. And in this case, the sync is enabled, which means that every process in this library is created as a work item in VSTS. I'll have an extra functionality here, but it is a little bit hidden. I go back to this page, which lists all the libraries, and I can click on the View this page in the updated Business Process Modeler experience. If I do that, it will show me the libraries in the same libraries I saw before, and I click on My Library, and it again shows me all the processes within my library that I've seen before. However, there is an extra functionality here, hidden beneath these 3 dots. It is that I can sync test cases. If I choose this, then all the test recordings that are a part of my business process library are going to be created in VSTS as test cases. And the last functionality that I'm going to show you is the cloud powered support. And for this, I'm going to log into a Dynamics client. And here we have the option. In the upper right corner, there is this question mark. And if I select this question mark, I can go to support. And here, this dialog links me to the LCS support. And I can search for an issue that I have. I'm just going to write in issue. And let's search for it. It's loading the results for me. I didn't find any issues. So if I didn't find any, then I can create one. So I click on create. And it brings up this contact support dialog where I can describe my issue. And I can put a date to it. I can also specify whether it is stopping me from some important work or not. And I can also upload a test recording to it. After I do this, I can submit this issue. And what happens when I submit is that an issue is created in LCS automatically, and an issue is created in VSTS automatically as well. This was all today about VSTS and LCS. For more information, please contact us. Contact details are on the screen, or comment on this video. Thank you.